So today we're going to be Zillow surfing a cool little studio apartment with a pool in New Orleans, and this one's actually pretty affordable. $229,000 and a $260 a month HOA. Now this is small; it's only 326 square feet. It's a one bedroom, one bathroom, and it's located at 1228 Royal Street, number 8, New Orleans, Louisiana 70116. Now, if you want to live in Louisiana, this is actually a pretty sweet spot. We don't have a ton of pictures to look at. Nice interior design, kind of funky if that's kind of your style. Has a nice pool out back. Now, I think what this definitely has that kind of Airbnb look to it. And Airbnbs weren't completely outlawed in New Orleans, but for all intents and purposes, a good chunk of the Airbnbs were outlawed in New Orleans. They only issue so many permits per area. The permits are only given in commercial areas, not residential areas. And this is kind of on the outskirts of the French Quarter, so I'm guessing this is a residential area, and Airbnbs aren't permitted. And honestly, when I first saw this, I was like, this would probably be a pretty sweet deal, or a pretty sweet place to have an Airbnb. It's small, it's easy to clean, it's in a really desirable area that a lot of tourists travel to, but I'm guessing you probably couldn't do the Airbnb thing with this property. Before we kind of get into looking at this property, I'll let you guys look at some photos, and I'm going to share some interesting facts and stats about New Orleans with you guys. First, you can't celebrate Mardi Gras without a mask. It's illegal to do so, and that's right. If you're riding a Mardi Gras float, the law requires you wear a mask. It's all about keeping that mystique alive. Poker and craps were born in New Orleans. Shuffle your card deck or your dice from New Orleans. The French game papou, or popu, involved into modern poker, and craps owes its name to crapaud, meaning frog, to a local gambler's crouching dice-throwing style. A favorite dentist gave us dental floss out of New Orleans. In 1819, New Orleans dentist Levi Spear Parmley recommended silk floss to clean between the teeth. The flossing habit we know today has been his early stamp of genius. Luxury tombs above ground because the city is basically a swamp. With a high water table, New Orleans cannot bury people underground without complications. Instead, the city created above-ground cities of the dead, elaborate tomb structures that give cemeteries their distinct, eerie beauty. And a lot of movies have featured this, but if you've ever seen the movie Double Jeopardy, great movie, check it out if you haven't seen it. They have a scene at the end where there's kind of a chase through one of these above-ground cemeteries. And Nicolas Cage bought himself a pyramid tomb while he's still alive. Tucked into St. Louis Cemetery No. 1, Cage's dazzling white marble pyramid stands ready for his future VIP internment. It even sits near the famed voodoo Queen Marie Laveau, because of course it does. So that's some stuff about New Orleans. It's been a long time since I've been in New Orleans. I feel like it's a city that people either love or hate. And it's a kind of a dichotomy. It's weird. There's a lot of culture there. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of great restaurants. But it's also kind of a city of degeneracy and debauchery. And beyond that, it's like a really kind of sketchy, like gritty city. You really don't feel safe in New Orleans. A lot of sketchy stuff goes down there. I remember this was probably pre-Katrina. I was actually down there, and on our last night in town, we were up late. I left my girlfriend in a hotel room, our girlfriend at the time in a hotel room, and went walking around looking for food. And man, I walked through a park, and it was like something out of Michael Jackson Thriller. People on drugs, homeless people wandering around like zombies. It was like really weird. And I made a beeline back to our hotel. I haven't been to New Orleans maybe once since Katrina, but it's been probably a decade plus. And I've got a lot of friends who like New Orleans, like going there. And everybody says it's just not the same. The city never really came back from Katrina, and it's only gotten worse over the years. People aren't drinking as much anymore. They're not into partying as much anymore. New Orleans is still a lively city, but it's nothing like it was back in the 90s or early 2000s before Katrina. So let's take a look at this property. You're going to be paying $702 per square foot. It was built in 1868. 370 square feet. HOA is only $260 a month, which is actually very reasonable. I saw some discussions about this property online, and somebody actually said this used to be a slave quarters. I'm not sure how much truth there is to that, but I could see that being the case. What's special about this property? An in-ground pool, ample storage, iron gate, gorgeous courtyard, built-in Murphy bed to free up some space during the day for activities. Tons of natural light and a brick walkway. Property is going to cost you $1,640 per month to own, all in. That's actually very, very reasonable, especially for being in, you know, I don't know if you want to live in New Orleans or not, but what a lot of people would perceive as a cool city. Looking at the property history, you know, we don't really have any. Zillow has been wiping these. Sold for listed for sale for $225,000 back in 2023. Had a pending sale, was sold in 2024. They're not showing us a sold price. They've been renting it for $1,600. I forget exactly when the Airbnb ban went into place. But you can clearly see that that's the case for this property. In 2024, it looks like they were trying to list it as a traditional, you know, month to month or, you know, 6-month year rental because Airbnbs likely aren't allowed in this area. They listed it for rent again in 2024 for $2,800. Removed the listing again, and it looks like they're giving up and trying to sell the property. I'm guessing they probably paid a premium for this property during the... Yes, they bought it in 2024. You know, kind of at peak prices, probably thought they could Airbnb it, didn't work out, aren't able to get enough money to, man, that's a pretty cheap mortgage. It should cover it, but probably aren't able to make the money they thought they would with Airbnb, and they just want to kind of dump off this property. Let's read a little bit more about this property. a-terre, turnkey jewel condo in a historic French Quarter with a pool and is pet friendly. Step back in time as you enter the iron gate and stroll down the brick walkway that opens up your gorgeous courtyard. Adorable studio unit with 12-foot ceilings and tons of natural light overlooking the pretty in-ground pool. Designated space just outside your unit for pool table and chairs for morning coffee and evening cocktails. Built-in Murphy bed and cabinets provide ample storage, in addition to 2 large closet/pantry in the vestibule hallway leading to the full bathroom. Hosting a Mardi Gras party, fold up your Murphy bed and entertain inside and outside with ample space for all. Walk to music clubs, antique shopping bars, fine dining museums, Frenchmen Street, art museums, Mardi Gras, French Quarter Festival, coffee boutique, shops, restaurants, and live entertainment. Low condo fee and well-run condo association. New slate roof. Must see this gem. And this is, number 8. It's not clear if you're on the upper floor and have a patio that looks down onto the street or not, but it is kind of cool. Everybody kind of looks out to this pool and courtyard. I think this property is actually pretty sweet. You know, as I've gotten older, I would probably have no desire to live in New Orleans, but I remember my first trip to New Orleans prior to Katrina. I thought it was an awesome city, and I thought it would be very, very cool to live in one of these like second floor units and sit up on the porch and have a beer and kind of look down onto what's kind of going on the street below. But, you know, today I would have zero interest in living in New Orleans. It looks like there's probably no parking. Obviously, New Orleans, the garbage gets thrown out onto the streets in front of the places because they don't have alleys. The town tends to kind of stink. It can be a fun city, but probably not my cup of tea. Let me know what you guys think about New Orleans. Let me know what you guys think about this place. Seems pretty affordable, albeit small. But again, this one is $229,000. It's a 326 square foot studio, 1 bed, 1 bath, and it's located at 1228 Royal Street, number 8, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70116. If you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you want to see more Zillow surfing videos, click that subscribe button down below and ring the bell. As always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.